Alright. So we're about to start. So we come back later to the music. So we're about to start the part 2 of our creativity. Hope you ate, chilled out. We're going to do popcorn style. So the list is not going to go in order, right? So we're just going to call your name. So, Sha, you want to go first? So 2 pieces.
My name's Sha. Urban Poetry. Y'all follow me on all platforms. Urban Poetry, TikTok, Urban Poetry 1, Instagram, Urban_Poetry 2023, Facebook, regular Poetry. This first piece I'm gonna present to y'all is entitled "Mentally Incarcerated." Mentally incarcerated 23 hours a day, consciously or subconsciously. Most of y'all can relate. For that brief hour of escape, after the shock and awe of no shackles, barbed wires, and gates, the bigger picture becomes clear to me. Raising my young prince to become a king, to honor his queen and reestablish the black family structure, and educate him about the danger that derived from his color. Teach him how our ancestors had to endure those whips and chains, and how materialism is equivalent to those same whips and chains. Teaching the credit system to get ahead of himself and understanding the importance of generational wealth. But then it's back to reality, adapting to what's surrounding me, telling my son education for what? You better hit the streets and hustle to get whatever you want. Everybody know you act just like me, so you won't be incarcerated just like me. You better die for a block you don't own or even live on, and take a man's life because hatred is what you built on. Join the gang and be all you can be, and raise a fatherless child as a tribute to me. You may not like my advice and everything that I'm saying, but these are the words of a man who's mentally incarcerated.
Yeah, that is dope. You got one more.
This next one is entitled "Letter to the People." I think it's time we paid our reparations. What interest for the mass incarcerations, which is now modern day slavery. Stop the legal lynchings and senseless police killings that we're witnessing every other day, and do away with this whitewashed legal system that quit those pigs, justifying actions in every way. Donald Goins once wrote that a white man's justice is a black man's grief. So while we march the streets, fish rage, screaming no justice and peace, understand that there's a larger picture what they doing to me and you. Let me give y'all the game on how the government move. They recruit a class of people who look nothing like you, who don't understand our culture and experience too. They train them to be fearful of everything that we do. So when they pull us over looking for a pursuit, and we ask a simple question like, "Officer, what I do?" and he draws his pistol, cock it, aim it, and then he shoot, he's practicing the hatred that his training produced. So understand that we're systematically under attack in a country where there's a target on your back if you're black.
That was so deep. I definitely want to give my intake about mentally incarcerated. When men speak and stuff like that, it's like so different because I'm a female. So what y'all go through is really what we don't go through, right? We're not getting pulled over by cops. We don't know that, like, we're not getting targeted and stuff like that. But to hear it is like 22 hours of conscious or unconsciously, it's a bigger picture, clear to me. And then he's like teaching how our ancestors had to endure those whips and chains. And like that's the story that's being told at constantly. Like people need to get education. This is why the misguided is teaching the misguided, right. And then when you try to tell the youth like don't do that thing, they still impressed by something that's no longer there. Right. Because you don't grow up to learn their lessons, but they still want to go through those lessons, right? Mm-hmm. And I think like you know what it's like to be fatherless, and then it's like you producing that, and you're trying to teach your son, and it's like hard for them to get to them because they still impressed by street code that don't even exist, not even there. So I appreciate that. And I think like a lot of young boys need to get into like urban poetry education so they can have a chance. especially in Philly, young boys are not making it to 25. And that's real life. So, and then the second one, give an education piece, stop the legal lectures. That's what's happening. If you don't know the law, you don't know your rights, you are literally in, and they even said, the white man's justice is a black man's weak. Like, that is like, a lot of us don't go to law school, a lot of us, there's nobody to protect you, and 9 times out of 10, they already made a decision about you based on your crime. So it doesn't even matter. By the time you get like a defense attorney, whatever that, they all working together because they all know each other. They go to lunch together. So you never have a chance of separating political powers. And it's like the system is designed to keep their oppressed. And then the training.
Right.
You said even the training. So it's like they train them to be fearful of everything. They don't know the coaches, so they are already fearful of something that's not even, they don't even know. So when they come, they're already coming to attack and they already got that fear in them. So that was deep.
For sure, because if I mean, it's pretty much common sense. If for most of our lives and our history is that's one of the things we moving on is police killing. They've been killing us and killing our ancestors from the beginning of time. So it's like if we keep having that and it transcended over to all the way to now, it's not just the individual problem, it's a systematic problem. We systematically being killed off. It's not really, we focus more, that's what led it to the people is about, we focus more on the person behind the gun versus what produced that person.
Right.
What produced the person, he may have racist views, that's, you can categorize it that way because really some of them don't have business being in our
And
because they never had any experience of us, and every negative experience, everything they taught about us is negative. So, before they even meet us, they already fearful.
Yeah,
And then
so-
the system, when they get into the system, is making them even more. It make them more fearful and make them more prone to shoot us because they don't understand us.
They don't understand
So
that.
it's a systematic thing that's going on.
And I think that's important that we continue to perpetuate that because it's happening all over in America.
Sure.
And we see it every day. I think Philly had gotten worse than what it
It's
was.
an epidemic at this point.
Yeah, and then even the music and stuff today is catering to it. I think when I first heard about the drill music, it was like started in Chicago. I'm thinking it's like hip hop. I'm like, oh no, it's not hip hop. That John got some other stuff hidden behind it, and it's like they perpetuate now a culture of like killing and stuff like that. And it's like, no, that's not where we need to be at. And that's what they're doing. Because they uneducated. So we just got to get back to the education component of the kids and the youth. And it's like the boys, being a younger in the urban community, we're like naturally drawn to like date the dope boys, right? So then the boys want to actually get the girls and stuff like that. So it's like a whole system. And then as you get older as a girl too, you're like, what was I doing? What was I dating? Why did I think that was cool? But we all misguided in a different way because we always wanted to date the highest kingpin or whoever that was. That's who we dated. And if you were the pretty girl, that's who you dated. And it was like all like a systematic thing. And then it's like y'all not gonna have and y'all not gonna have longevity. It's gonna end in like tragedy. So and then okay, so next up we have Stony. She getting her food? Oh, okay. So Stony, so let's skip her. Let's go to Shara Speaks.
That's what everybody needs to hear, especially the black community and the black community.
Shara, coming to the stage, you shy? You got this. So you got this.
Take your time.
Yeah, you're good.
It's my second show, and I think I made this piece a couple days ago. It's basically about if you've ever been like addicted to a really toxic person, and you just keep going back to them. Everybody keeps telling you like you don't have to, but it's like I can't stop.
We all been there.
Okay. No one expects to get addicted to anything. Not one singular person on earth says, I hope I develop an addiction to Molly. No, but eventually they do. It just happens. I never expected to get addicted to him. It just happened. But like every addiction, it started out very small. No one would have expected for it to be this catastrophic. The temptation was there, but it was far away. but it was as if I was a teenager watching teens on TV doing hard drugs for fun. It looked intriguing, but the risk had alarm bells going off all around it. So who knew when he looked at me, it was the beginning of a very powerful and painful addiction. I didn't fall for it at first, because Mama warned me about them. The boys, the ones with the hair and the flare and the smile. So I stayed away, because boys like him didn't want girls like me. But I forgot that girls like me were exactly the type of girl that he wanted to protect the most. So then it started. The attention was available everywhere. So I had a small taste, and it felt euphoric. But the aftermath left me feeding for more. My eyes searched for his in crowded rooms, and yet when they met, those same eyes avoided his powerful gaze, unable to want to see the cost of my addiction, for fear that he might pull me under once more. And things slowed down, and since there were small doses over an extended period of time, so my friends helped me wean off of it. For a while, I was sober, happy. Well, not happy, but I was okay. Then life started to life, and he came back, but with a stronger and more potent recipe. And when I fell this time, I fell hard. The highs were the Garden of Eden, while the lows were Dante's second circle of hell. It was my fatal addiction, and I was the addict who could never seem to stay away. My own personal brand of Molly. That was that one. So this one is about my experience of going to a PWI and about being one of the few black people I see there. So yeah,
Okay.
some days felt like most days, and most days, hold on. Some days felt like most days, and most days, they felt like every day. And every day was a constant and repeat struggle. It was a struggle for my identity in order not to lose it. I sat here in a class that I didn't understand, trying to fit into a space that was far too small a space for me anyways. My nails were blue and not bare. My hair was locked and not loose. And my major somehow felt like a minor. I felt like the biggest black outlier in a sea of white. And my conscious mind knew that I wasn't purposely being looked at. But my subconscious mind, I was playing a different type of warfare. My socks never matched, neither did my hair. It felt as though I was a visual artistic mess that was given little to no thought. Perhaps my artist colored outside the lines. I hope it wasn't on purpose, because my eyes are the only one colored haphazardly. It felt as though I was an incomplete mess and was shoved away and was told you're done. But when I looked at everyone else, I never thought that. That's that.
There was
I'm back on my answer, I got that.
everyone can know what that love is. I think everyone experienced that heartbreak, that person that always we have always spot. And then you said, no one expects to get addicted to anything. Of course not, right? Because when you're looking from the outside, we're like, how does that even happen, right? And then I never expected to get addicted to them. It looked intriguing. I didn't fall for it at first because my mom warned me. And even with all the warning signs and stuff like that, you just think like, okay, right? The aftermath left me wanting for more. Things slowed down, but then he came back. And then he said the highs was like the Garden of Eden. I was the addict that never seemed to stay away. And I'm like, every girl can relate to that because everyone wants that high is love.
Yeah.
And then when you get a taste of it,
It's
it's not really love, but in your mind you created it. And I think everyone's been there, tasted that love or whatever the illusion is. Because if it probably was never good from the beginning, but sometimes you just want what you want.
Yeah, when I was writing the last part of it, like the highs with the Garden of Eden, I was thinking about the highest level of like the most purest thing you could ever feel in another sense. And then with Dante's second layer of hell, it was like that lust level. So it's like I'm going very high, and then you're going like so low to the fact that you're going. This is just a lustful relationship. So it's
Right, is it less than love?
Yeah. And I think we all been there. So PWI, what does that stand for?
it's a predominantly white institution. So I go to a predominantly white college.
Okay. So now I understand everyone everyone was a repeat struggle for my identity. My hair was locked, and I felt like the biggest outlier for a half mark, color outsider. I think a lot of ethnic people, when they go to predominantly white school, and I know like parents think it's better because the education is better, or they think these things, but they forget that people need to be around people that look like them, that have similar culture to them, and then it creates an identity thing that could have been avoided. But since the parents assume, most people do assume, these type of education institutes that's predominantly of white, they like think it's better because it's like, you know what I mean? So I can see that happening, and I was like, and you having to overcome that, find who you are outside of everything that you see, because you're not seeing you, you're seeing them. So that could be like a battle thing.
I literally started writing that in the middle of my political science class. So I'm just like, I do not look like any of these people here. I don't talk like them. Like, my socks are two different. Like, one is like a black sock, and the other is like a really rainbow loud sock. So it was like, I don't look like any of these people. And then we were going to a group, so I'm like, I don't fit in here. And so I think I talked to one of my advisors about it. I was just like, that's how I came up with it too, because I don't fit in this space. And I'm not gonna try to. I don't care. But at the same time, it's hard not to want to try to.
Yeah, because we naturally want to assimilate. That's normal, especially when you're a young teen and stuff like that. And I know you're not the only one that went to these institutions, and it's like they have complex and stuff like that. And it's good, like, to bring awareness. When you put a kid into an institution where no one looks like them, they want to have some type of self-battle, because we want to naturally see people that look like us. Or we can talk about stuff, like, what are, you know what I mean? Or have some similar styles in music and hairstyle. Like, they can't give you advice of hairstyle. They can't give you advice about certain things because they're not connected.
Yeah.
I didn't write nothing down, but I did come on the part where you were saying about, like, I didn't want to be addicted. So to piggyback on what Melissa said, like, it's crazy that love is an addiction, but it takes you to lose yourself to realize, like, why am I going to be staying withdrawals over somebody that treated me wrong? It's like, I had to learn on my self-love journey, like, the love that we first see is what we see from our parents or whoever raised us. And that wasn't always good. You know, they locked shit up in the closet and stuff. So you see somebody talking that somebody think, oh, that's okay. And then you get out there and start doing it, and then when some shit goes left, like, oh, what the fuck is this? So you really have to, it's kind of like mindset at her home. Like, you gotta kind of boost your mind and learn to be learning. So I like that, yeah.
Thank you. Good. You got the list?
Yes, who else wants to sign up for it? You want to take over?
Oh, we're going to say Stephen's next.
All right.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. No issues. So we're going to keep it going, keep the rhythm going. Okay, so we got so Beneath the Bird.
Let's go.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
So my name's Benita. I've been writing for about 20 years, but I had a little spiritual encounter with this lady. My sister's mother was transitioning, and this spiritual lady, I went to see her. I went to see my sister's mother, and this spiritual lady was across the room. I had never met this lady before in my life. And she basically said to me, she said, God, she said, can I speak to you for a minute? God wants me to just give a word from me to you. So I said, okay, what's up, basically? And she was like, do you do anything like creatively a talent that you got that you don't do anything with? So I was like, yeah, because I write. She said, well, how's your love life going? I said, at the time I had just finished Separation and Divorce. I was like, it ain't going too good, at the time. And she was like, well, I just want you to know that God told me that until you share your gifts with the world, you ain't basically going to have, nothing else is going to work inside of taking the time to share this.
Yeah.
So I started sharing. Maybe not right after that, maybe a couple years after that.
Okay.
But the first time that I ever wrote was, and I ain't going to go on because I can deal with it. But the first time I ever wrote, it was this lady, I was at work, and this lady had lost her brother. And she just screamed out. And it was just like you knew something was wrong. And I sat down and I wrote a poem. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I can actually articulate feelings. That's not the poem I'm going to share with y'all tonight. But that was the first time. I mean,
It's
that's,
straight tease us. We like,
that was the first time that I wrote. But the piece that I am going to share with y'all is kind of like I work with kids. Well, used to work with kids in the streets and stuff like that. Social work background.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. So, I used to have to do a lot of groups and stuff like that, and you inspire kids to like try to get their life in track, know what they living for. And I wrote a piece and I'm gonna share that. I call it my mission statement. My mission in life is to reach my fullest potential, to become someone in society who's very essential. Integrity, diligence, and self-discipline will be my tools. I will never assimilate into someone else's rules. Realistic goals will be met in a timely fashion because I live my life fulfilling my passion to uplift those around me to be all that they can be by being a good example with hopes that they can follow me. It is my continuing resolve to be self-sufficient, a risk taker, approachable, understanding, and a moneymaker. To balance my business and personal affairs so that they grow by being mindful at times and taking things slow. And at those times when my life is really being tested, those are the times I'm gonna learn my greatest life lessons. Because you see, I will be successful without any doubt by inspiring others to take the same route. That's my mission statement. I work with so that's a little thing I wrote so many long years ago. That's the only one that I really got memorized.
it's okay. I want to give my intake. My mission in life is to reach my full potential. I would never assimilate. By being a good example, risk taker, a money maker, take the same route. I think that a lot of us reach for certain things and we just stay stagnant. We like, oh, we're just settling. A lot of us settle in life without knowing.
Yeah.
And it's like
we're not reaching. We walking dead. Yeah.
oh yeah, she said that walking that. And it's like to reach your full potential. And sometimes you gotta tap into what you can do, what you can't do. Like you've been doing poetry for many years ago. This should have been unleashed so many years ago. And it's like, but no one is taking the time. You're not learning stuff. They're not learning you, and no one's there to die, right? And so it's like it takes us longer to get to these certain levels. It takes us more time. But it's like, and also being a risk taker. So many people are not risk taker that they literally would like stay in relationships, stay in jobs because they're scared.
Right.
That's that adventurous thing you talk about. And it's like, but it's like if you leave that relationship, you don't know what other walks of life you might meet or other job opportunities. So you're just stuck.
Right.
And then you're just the walking dead. And it's like I think that's important that take those risks, manage your money, be a good example, and live to your fullest potential because you only get this one life. No do-overs.
Yeah.
It ain't never too late. I'm 48 years old,
No, and you look like, and it's never too late to start a new gift, a new job, a new relationship, and nothing. And now people are afraid of why can't this guy? I'm like, no, you can do it at any time.
I mean, I was simply afraid just to share my pieces. So, it was just, and then I share just to get it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't share to get likes. I don't share to get, I appreciate it, you know what I mean? But I share just to get it out of me and into the world so that I can get to talk about that. The other piece I'm gonna do, I wrote for. I'm sorry.
I was gonna do mine.
Oh, go ahead.
So I agree. My mission in life is to reach its full potential. I would never assimilate someone else's rules. Hoping to be a good example. Hoping people will follow me. And there are times when my life is being tested, but I still see the blessings behind it. I like that because I feel like we all want to reach our full potential. But even if you may not get to everything that we do, if you shift your mind, like, the only thing will make me happy instead of letting fear take over. This one girl named Marquita said the other day, she was like, I had to realize fear never gave me anything that I wanted. And I was like, oh shit, I need to detach from that because it doesn't give you what you want. So thank you for that piece.
Thank you. Any more?
Yeah, one more you said?
Huh?
Yeah, one more.
Oh, yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
So this one I wrote for one of my friends in the same job. She was going through the divorce from her husband at the time, and I wrote it. She said, I want you to write. We sat down. She said, I want you to just write me something. I said, how you feeling? She said it, and this is what I came up with. But it's crazy because for me, when I write, I see it in life, and it comes into my life too. You know what I mean? Like that's just how life goes. How? How do I go on and continue to grow when you left me for a reason that I don't even know? I felt you pull from me, and I asked you why, and instead of answering me, you just let me cry. And that's what I did. Till my eyes was bloodshot red. Oh my God, the pain. I felt like I was dead. We had time in. I thought we really do one another. 6 years later, and you tell me you feeling smothered? My friends, they told me that, time will heal my wounds. The whole time I'm praying, hoping, wishing that you come back to me soon. But you didn't. Not even a call. And that's when my thoughts really started bouncing off the walls. Like, maybe it was me. Maybe I ain't trying my best. Maybe I put you under too much pressure, too much stress. And then I asked myself, how? How am I going to go on when my heart is completely distorted and torn? That's when that voice comes. And that voice says, keep pushing along. Keep making it happen. Because no matter what, life is going to keep on going. You got to keep on traveling. How?
So I think the work is always messy. I think we always get into these relationships and I think it hits you out of nowhere. How do I continue to go on? I felt true for me. I think every woman feels that, or even a man, you can feel like when somebody's not the same, you feel it. It's an energetic frequency there. You're like, something's off here. You feel that. You feel it before it's even happening.
Right.
Oh my God, the pain, I felt that. I think because, when we get in a relationship, our identity is tied to that person. Especially women, we tie our identity to a man because it's like a status for us, depending on what he is and stuff like that. And then he says 6 years later, and you're telling me you feel smothered. And I'm like, we get into these years, right? And that's like the chokehold. We got 10 years in, it's like, it don't matter. It don't matter because a lot of
It's over.
It's over, yeah. And those years.
Even in the season.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't always recognize it. They're like, oh my God, I seen 20 years, 30, and it's like we get so stuck on those years and we think they're our testament. We're like, oh, we got these many years, and it's like
It keep you staying.
And it's not the years, it's the hope.
Right.
It's the hope that the time that you put in,
Right.
that the person's gonna be better. That's what it is that hope is the time that, like, damn, I let the suffering, what I mean? Let
all that
justify
stuff.
things.
And I think that's like what was happening. It's just like maybe it was me, and then you blame yourself for a relationship, and then it's like, well, how do I move on? It's like I think that each breakup does make you stronger because you learn how to pick yourself up, even though you have to start over. But not that I want everyone to have a breakup, but I think that like you need a milestone to have a breakup in order to understand that pain and then also move forward.
Right.
So I love this piece. I thought she was frightened from the lady who lost her husband. But then we got to the 6 years, so the smothered stabbed me in the heart. I was like, damn, I went through that before. But when you said, how will I go on and continue to grow without you here? I felt like I was dead. 6 years later, you saying you felt smothered. And then I like how you shifted towards me and saying, like, you gotta keep pushing along, like it's gonna still keep going. So you have to keep going, but you really question how. I seen a book before that said love hurts regardless. And I'm like, what you mean? Because if the person break up, sure they die. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna hurt. And I think it's because it's like Shahid said, like, that hope we have. You know what I'm saying? Going to it thinking that you got it forever when nothing really belongs to us. And I've been learning a lot about attachment. I see a video that said the more you try to control life, the more it will control you. Yeah. So like, if you focus on yourself and you know that this person's just here to add to it, it's gonna hurt, but it won't hurt as much. Because I've been in that point where you feel dead inside, like I gave too fucking much. You know what I'm saying? You have to realize, just like we grow away from stuff, people can grow apart from us and don't take it personally. I love that piece.
Thank you so much. Plug yourself.
So my Instagram is my name spelled backwards. and my name is Benita Bird. Spell that backwards. DRIBTINEB. Bird. Spell that backwards.
All right.
Yeah.
right, so we got Stoney coming up next. Welcome you all.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna be on top for that one. I never asked for anything. I only wanted you to remember my existence, not just when you wanted to exist in me. The same way you hit my spots consistently, stop playing in my face with inconsistencies. Because why your inconvenience is only convenient when you want to be conveniently in me. You're the walking ingredients of toxicity, but you ain't a remedy. And I'm all the things you desire, but you don't have enough discipline to give me what's required, because why do you think I deserve half when I'm presented to you as a whole? I don't shortchange you when I'm taking your soul, giving your next generation a place to go home. Deep strokes and face fucks and intimate conversation leads to life-altering complications. To fuck me like you miss me, just to going back to ignoring my existence like I just wasn't swallowing your past resentments. I'm good enough to be your peace when you're stressed, when you need a release. So tell me what's more important, my existence or my different positions? Difficult ones you leave me in or with my body back. I pour into your soul and you leave your resentments in me, feeding me with ways and things you won't ever take time to be. That sounds like a toxic concoction to me. I got some new shit for you guys.
I'm gonna just call it new shit.
This don't have no. Oh, okay, so I'm lying. So I've started this thing where I'm doing a side drawing Susie Chronicles. So it's different little pieces that for an overall thing. So here we go. You know, I still have those flowers you gave me, even though they're dead. And you asked me why, and I said because they remind me of what it looks like to be watered versus sat in some tap water with hopes of you letting light in, with the possibility of me surviving, just to end up dying, like my feelings for you. When you picked me, you made it your priority to nurture me. After you ripped me from my roots, you took time removing the thorns that I specifically grew to protect from a tainted love like you. The same love I swore to never give out. The same love that I knew without a doubt that you wouldn't know how to love me properly. My ego told me, even though I knew that you didn't know what to do with me, that if I love you unconditionally, your love will reciprocate eventually. But you just love the idea of me getting to love you. Like my heart was the target and you were Cupid's arrow, and it was a stroke to your ego every time I would smile for you. The vibes we used to exchange, we no longer can maintain, and everything in my eyes was fine. I held up my end of the deal. When you met me, you said you wanted a friend and that your last relationship left you hurt. And your heart was like crumbled concrete, when that's when I knew hurt people can't date broke people and expect the rose to rise from that type of shit. You said her vibe was, So you say you like her vibe and you never wanted to end. And that's why you just wanted to be my friend. And I respect that, and I expect that you would never have a reason to lie. Because I was your little friend. I was your ride or die. I was your intuition. I was the reason you didn't die. I gave you a purpose to want to survive. I helped motivate your craft from just trying to thrive to sustain a high-class vibe. And the only thing I ever asked you was to never lie. But all you ever did was lie. You fed me fairy tales that ended in fables, and I was never the one. It was just my turn to have you. But your wife was the only one strong enough to stand you. So, if y'all don't follow me, you can. My name is Ms. Stoney Crocker, MIZZ_Stoney_Crocker with a K. March 9th is Puffin Poetry. If you don't know, you should be there. L1 AK 215 is one of the features. Some of my gemstones. Another gemstone. MIZZ_.
So I want to give my take. I never asked for anything. You jump right into it too. I was like, hold on, where's the title? But I like that. I never asked for it to stop playing in my face with inconsistency. All the things you desire. I'm all the things you desire. And then you said to fuck me like you miss me. Then something like at the end, like I can't catch the whole part. I poured into yours. I poured into something at the end.
I pour into your soul.
I pour
You
into
give
your
your
soul.
resentments in me.
But you left your resentment. I think like that right there shows like the sacrifices that women would do. But then you're seeing the red flags, right? The inconsistency is a red flag. The fucking you and leaving is the red flag. But we stay in that hopeful moment is like the possibility that keeps us trapped. So, but the red flags are there. So I definitely love that piece because I think even though we see that we still want to believe in hope, I get there, I get it. And I it's just about growth. And then the second piece, they said every woman has, he was a married man story. He was married. So I think we all have a piece like he was married. We all have and he was a married man story. They tell us, I have one, so I get it. I still have the flowers you gave me. You with me from our roots. I will pick out the thorns. If I love you unconditionally, then you will love me unconditionally. Your last relationship left you hurt. I'm your little friend. I help you motivate your craft. Your wife was the only one to stay. I think your wife was the only one to stay you. I think at that end part, I was like, hold up, what's that? So this is why you was the friend. Like you were like the one that we're just friends, but the whole time he's still with us. Right? That's what I'm saying.
So we meet people, and for whatever reason, like you make that commitment, and that don't have nothing to do with you. But it's like you expect, honestly, when you're someone's friend, you expect that communication, and it's very simple. There's no reason to lie if you're just friends. At least give an individual an option, and then when you don't give an option, you be mad at how they react.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. Just like basically, you're still having that moment. He wants to love him, relationship. But you're still his friend, but you want all of these persons. Yeah, he's
Cause I'm her.
Period. So I totally get it, and I was like, that's about both. But honesty is important. So I get it. I love you both your pieces. So
Thank you.
like yourself again, girl.
Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
I just wanted to say, I came to your last question. Why you dragged me? I really was triggered on this one. Both, well, not the last one, but I can feel it. When you said I only want to serve my existence, why is your convenience when you only want to convenience me? You fuck me like you miss me. You go back to ignore me. I could not catch the rest, but I was like, damn, I'm really feeling dragged. And I can't speak for all women, but I think majority of women have been like, just been like, just a fuck convenience. You know what I'm saying, for them. I've learned not to take it personal because just like we got triggers and we figure shit out, men are too. So it's like, if they can't see themselves, they don't think that their existence matters to someone. Like they just like, oh, you'll get over it. But it's like, I'm gonna bounce back, but don't try to fucking spin the block. Is that friend? You trying to just see if that door's open? No. Then the next one, you shit. I still have these flowers you gave me, even though they are dead. Like my feelings. I thought if I loved you unconditionally, you would reciprocate the love. I've been there before, where you think like, oh, I'm gonna just continue to use this person, they gonna change. Hell no. So you say you like our vibe, but you don't want it to end. You said something about like you said you want to be friends. And you said the only thing I ever asked was for you to never lie. After that, I'm sure. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys.
Good pieces.
Thank you.
I just want to say, you got many schemes about just a single flower like being cut from the group. So you got a line, you could have stopped there, you continued it, you could have stopped there, and you put 2 more times of breaking down the single flowers.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
And this is a well-written piece for the brothers, holding that mirror up to us.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for that.
And being somebody that partook in that once in my life, going through that.
What's that?
It holds the mirror, and it definitely hit them because we lack the humanity towards seeing the consequences of that we produce from just, playing with your emotions. So that was a good whole mirror.
I love that. I definitely love that.
Thank you for the puppy poetry. Yes, March 9th.
March 9th.
I promise you.
All right, so it's 4:41. We're doing good on time. So I know you want to go one more time, Shine. I'm gonna let you go, then I'm gonna wrap it up and bring it home. So, all right.
I was kind of indecisive between apology to black women and intimate friend, but
I well,
Yes, I like
Okay.
the first one. I think
Come
I
on,
would
bring
go
it back. We here for it.
okay, I'm gonna, if I quickly,
Go ahead, back there.
apology to black women. I would like to apologize on behalf of every brother who ever lied and made you cry, toying with your heart as if it was manufactured from a company. Now, I don't want to sound uppity because I was once a part of that company who lacked the humanity towards the emotions of black women, as if I didn't have a mother or sister. You deserve to be treated like a queen, so I'm going to honor you. Shit, your mama and your grandmama too. I want to heal the wounds that we caused and restore your faith in black men and find that common ground so there's no separation again. I apologize for having to raise them kids by yourselves and leaving y'all alone while we do time in themselves. I apologize for us putting our hands on you, for cowardly taking that way out to resolve our issues. If I could, I'd lay the world at your feet and pull heaven from the sky to define your value to me. But material things should mean nothing to you because you can't put a price on the real value of you. You're a queen and should be seen that way in the eyes of any guy. And from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say we apologize. And the next one is intimate friend is going to piggyback off honesty. Now, most men wouldn't tell you this, but I want to be honest from the start. I don't want to deceive you, plant bad seeds in you that'll grow to a broken heart. Now, don't take my forwardness as disrespect, but good sex is with a roll in. I don't want a committed relationship. I just want an intimate friend. The politics of relationships is too complex to entertain. I've been hurt a time or two in the past, so I prefer the pleasure over pain. Although love will be an ingredient within our relations, orgasms will be essential to our overall foundation. Now, I could whisper sweet nothings and tell you things that you want to hear, but the long-term repercussions is what I truly fear. I will create insecurities in you that you will have to sit on someone's couch to fix. And in the eyes of another man, you'll be impossible to deal with. You become stagnant in your pattern and how you behave in relationships. I don't think y'all hear me. You will become stagnant in your pattern and how you behave in relationships and become bitter towards every man, all behind what one did. Now, I'm not trying to convince you like I'm making a sales pitch. I'm just giving you your options versus robbing you of it.
Hey, appreciation.
How much go first? No, come on, do you want to give your take? Or,
I mean, I was gonna say, I like the first one. I just walked off, I didn't know if he wanted to. I like the apology one, I do, but, I also realized, like, we don't talk about how y'all go through the same household with toxic mothers. So it takes for y'all to go through some shit to see the value in us, and I'm glad that you saw the value in us, because you apologize to us for giving yourself as well. So thank you, yeah. But when you said that part about how the dad was himself, he was in that same household, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that's like for sure. Y'all do a lot and y'all don't really get y'all moved. So I'm the type of writer that I gotta be moved and inspired by it. I don't just write to just just to make it sound good. I write for my mom for the soul.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's authentic. So it's just a small token of appreciation from the brother's spirit. So that's like genuine piece of the system.
Yes, thank you. And I probably got a chance to write, I was getting my food.
I want to say I like both pieces. I think that it shows growth in a man when a man can admit his flaws and wrongs and stuff like that. Especially like I think a lot of boys too. They was taught that very young at an early age that this is how the game goes. I remember in therapy one time this guy told me this game. Well, not a game, but basically in order for him to keep the game going in regards to girls, you always have a roster. And when one girl didn't communicate to him in a certain way or he didn't like it, he would put time away from her or affection. I was like, what the hell? But this is like the system that he was designed. This is like how he treated. He wasn't like And it wasn't like no judgment. He was just saying, this is how I was taught, not this is how I protected my heart. This is how I protected me. And I was like, you know what I mean? And you see that happening. It's just like, for you to apologize, it's like, yeah, you gotta know that every black woman has something, you know what I mean, has going on and is appreciative because more people need to have awareness. And it's like, y'all still a team, like, the division is, like, eventually it has to stop. And they said intimate friends. I like to say, I don't want to deceive you, but this sex is where the road ends. I prefer the pleasure or the pain. Orgasm would be essential. It's like basically giving the girl a chance. Like, you're like, I know me. I know what I can create. I know what you might fall for. However, I'm warning you now, but you have an option. So you're like, a lot of us don't get into relationships, talk about intimate friends, because intimacy can lead into something more. And then when you're intimate first, eventually someone always crosses the boundaries, even though we were to start off like that. But it's like, even with the warning labels, eventually someone will end up getting hurt.
But it shouldn't be that complex because, for one, we adults and you should always be honest with your. I mean, I wasn't always that individual. I learned to try. But they say a hard-headed nigga soft ass. But you should be honest, man. Don't whether it's women or the men. Be honest with your intentions and let's make it right. Whether you want to accept it or reject it, because man, that shit crazy.
Thank you for the piece. I'm going to close it out. All right, let's see. I'm going to use my phone. All right. Yeah, and we're doing good on time, so I'm happy. I'm like, we're all doing good. I'm trying to keep my time together because I'll be all over in time. Okay, so this is Untitled. Mm-hmm. My poetry is my autobiography. It is the unwritten story of my lifelong betrayals, triumphs, and challenges. At times, I'm still afraid of my voice. I was taught at a young age to be silent, lower the volume of my tone. So I tell all little girls to speak up. I was taught at a young age to hide my feelings and my pain. So I kept a diary to express my deepest thoughts. So I am still writing. I still remember writing my dad these long letters, expressing to him at a tender age of only 10 years old how disappointed I was in him, the life choices that he made. Those letters was written from an abandoned child neglected from the father absentee. However, he always kept in contact. And I thank him because that's when my writing journey started. Always a deep thinker, asking my dad why he had to sell drugs. I guess when you're a kid, you have yet to understand life. Those letters kept a heartbroken child crying, but never in the physical realm, but hidden in my diary pages. The only way I knew to express emotion so freely is with the pen. And even yet, I kept some hidden emotions from those pages. Some experiences I take with me to the afterlife. Tears, what are those? I don't know. I held back my tears, even when I wanted to cry. But instead, I told myself, calm down before the storm. Showing tears is a weak emotion. I can feel the onset of my tears about to purge, as every cell in my body stricken with sadness overload. But yet, I let the emotions sit in my body, and the feeling of disconnected from those emotions. I became numb. I can't cry. And please don't tell me another sad story, as I have an arcade of sad files and cold cases still waiting to be solved. So yeah, let me go back. To figure me out is to listen attentively to my poems and understand my shadows, the imprints in these pieces. It is me, or I'm telling a story from a third person. I am Mystique, and not the Mystique you want to touch, but the kind you want to have an energetic exchange with. Don't tell me your stories, but tell me your behaviors, and I'll tell you your life. These poems are still my escape, with bits of my cries in it. But I won't cry in my real life. It's no different than the next. You have a sad story? We all do, so What sad story is worse than the next? Whose autobiography will be written in the future? I don't know about you, but college students will one day go on to study, just like I had studied many great women before me. I am writing and performing to create a history for my future grandkids. I never thought that I was worth reading or writing about, or maybe I never knew the depth of my character. So you all are witnessing a book in the making.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you so much.
So I like how you say my poetry is my autobiography. I'm still afraid of my voice. I was taught to silence my voice. I was taught to hide my feelings. I put in parentheses, our pen speaks what our voice can't get. When you said those letters kept my heart crying, I think you said that. Tears, what are those? Showing tears is a weak emotion. It made me think about like, whenever you cry, there's always punishment. You want me to give you a reason to cry? Like,
Yeah.
I'm already fucking
Like, plug it up.
Laugh, like that laughter is like really, she said before, laughter is definitely like a trauma response.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank you all so much for coming out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Woo! Come back again. Any thoughts, any feedback, let us know. We're about to close out. We can mingle for a little bit. And then to the next event, 2 weeks, we'll be doing Zoom. And then Instagram, TV, check us out. If you ever do Zoom and stuff like that, I've seen most of y'all, I think, there. And then in another 2 weeks, we're going to bring it back to live poetry as well. So, woo! All right.